Well, of course, we know that a lot of research is undertaken in this facility, but this time we will go a little bit to the people living with disabilities. And for often or many times, we've seen that these people, sometimes everyone is talking about how they can be incorporated in the job world and the rest. But this time we'll be speaking matters research, because 14 of them have been out in the field there, undertaking research also in their own field. And what comes from there is how these people will also be incorporated in undertaking research for their own and also benefiting the rest of other population that we have. But also want to understand, as this research has been undertaken for 3 years in Wakiso. Wakiso was the study area. We want to just get some of the findings that these people have been able to come up with. I just want to speak to the leader, the person who has been leading the disability research group, to just give us a perspective of why, first of all, this time the council felt undertaking research for involving people living with disabilities is important for themselves. And I want to speak to Dr. Femke. Good morning and welcome with Good Morning at NTV.
Good morning, Ivan.
Look, we want you to tell us, as a council, a medical research council, why you felt undertaking this research was important.
So this research is important because 15% of the Ugandan population lives with a disability. So we felt that they really need to be included in research, not only as participants, but also as staff. And at the moment we had very few. So we said we really need to do something about it and make sure we are representative of the population when we conduct our research.
You chose Wakiso to undertake the study. What did you exactly want or target in Wakiso and you wanted to come up with?
So we targeted Wakiso because our main office is based in Entebbe. So we wanted the youth to be able to be trained and also to be supervised and mentored by our research teams. So that's why we chose Wakiso. Some of them have also been to Chamonibwa and Masaka, where we also have our other district offices.
Yes, you had 14 going to the field and undertaking this for the first time. I know is not very easy, because in the recent past we've seen that the people who conduct research on other people living with disabilities are the ones like you and me or any other person. But now having them do undertake the research, what did you exactly want to come up with?
So what we wanted to make sure is that people with disabilities are given an equal chance, like any of our other researchers, but we also wanted to make sure that our research is really in-depth. And I think sometimes when you, for example, interview someone with a hearing impairment, if you have a hearing impairment yourself, it might be easier to communicate and you might get richer data than if I, without a hearing impairment, interview that person.
Okay. Before I speak to the coordinator, I want you to tell us some of, you sneak for the nitty, some of, into your docket, some of the findings that you're able to come up with as far as how you undertook this research.
So one of the things was that we've really changed the environment at the Medical Research Council. People are more inclusive now of people with disabilities, and we really have a lot more richer data about disability. And we've also created awareness about how other researchers can include people with disabilities in research. Okay,
I will hold on for doctors this time. Let me just speak to the coordinator who has been, you've been coordinating the project, but we want you to also tell us, being the first time that the council is undertaking this research is not easy, but tell us what really went through in the field in as far as how you coordinated this. So we'll start with your name.
My name is Sandy Sylvester. I've been coordinating the Disabled Youth Investigators Project, a capacity building project that has been aiming at improving youth disabilities in research. So getting back to your question, what we've been doing, we used a peer-to-peer model. A youth with disability was paired with a youth without disability, then undertaken through intensive research, training, but also internship. Then we prepared them for food data collection, trained them in life history data collection. So they went out into Wakiso to collect data on social participation of youth with disabilities in education, but also employment and also research. So they went out in a peer-to-peer sort of model, and they did interviews, a peer without a disability paired with a peer with a disability, and we were able to interview youth with disabilities, taking the life stories from how they go about education, but also their inclusion into research and employment.
This research is first of its kind. I am imagining some of the challenges you went through in coordinating this, but also making sure that these people get the best credible information when they were conducting this research.
So before maybe we could talk about the challenges, one of the most take for me is that we've been able to train youth with disabilities in research, and they get the ethics skills and how to conduct research themselves. So the challenges are not so much unique. from other people who conduct research in the field. But maybe probably the youth researcher themselves, they'll talk about the challenges, maybe how they went through the field themselves, but there are no unique challenges that we could see that these are normal challenges that maybe they are very unique that youth with disabilities are facing, save for maybe you have to prepare the team to go to the field. You may have to make sure that there's transport, but also provide the reasonable accommodations. So I want not to say that these have been really challenges, but there's been an opportunity to provide reasonable accommodation within the unit and preparing this team to go to the field. There are certain things that we did, really, that we maybe would not have thought about. One, providing the screen readers, but also providing software, because they use computers to read transcribe. People with visual impairment, they're not able to see the screen, but they're able to use the JAWS on the screen. So that's not a challenge, but we are able to provide it, but also making sure that at least we provide safeguarding principles within the team, and also building the team to be sure that in the case of any challenges, we are able to use the peer-to-peer model. Importantly, we provide the normal things. You provide transport to any person who go to the field, but also now being sure that at least the transport we are providing is able to be to provide reasonable accommodation for people who are going to the field. So,
okay, I'm told you have part of the group that was in the field. I think I will speak to the interpreter who will help me ask, as a person who was undertaking research, first time in the field, what the experience was.
Now in Wakiso, we have worked together with Makerere University and also the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, and we want to take this wider through Uganda, but we're also starting in September in Kenya and Rwanda.
Okay. We know that the research is going to be published, and in the press conference where some of these insights that were obtained from the field will be shared. We also wish you well, but we really thank you so much for making time to speak to us on Morning at NTV.
Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. Femke has been taking lead in this group that has just concluded the research. But of course, like I told you, the findings will be revealed to the public. But also we get to know that people living with disabilities have challenges in as far as accessing education, healthcare, and the rest. So we hope that when such researches are being undertaken, all this will partly be addressed. For time reasons, I want to get the conversation back to the studio. A very good morning to you and our audience.